What's up, otakus? I'm live. This is the first time I'm going live. It's a little bit new. Usually, I just kind of turn my camera on and film, and if I don't like it, I start over. But this one, we're just going live. Hopefully, people join. Um, but really, this video is in response, and I just love it. I really love what Bearded Comic Bro and Cole's Comic Claims. These are two Instagram channels in the community. I encourage you to, check out their channels. They cover a lot of books, but they started something this year where they just each month they're gonna come up with a theme, and they're asking the community to participate and show off books in their collection, covers in their collection, more specifically. And I thought that was a great idea. And so this month, if I'm not mistaken, for February, the theme, I guess they came upon this theme because of Valentine's Day, and the fact that it's a couples month. But yeah, the theme is couples. So like, just I guess famous comic book couples, and their covers that they're featured on. So I really enjoyed watching Cole cover his picks, and it's interesting. I'm just gonna take a look at my books here real quick. I'll be right back. I forgot a book here. So yeah, I was digging through my long boxes. Got a nice shot of my pajamas there. I apologize. In Cole's video, and a shout out to you, Cole. Cole's Comic Claims. I really enjoyed your video. I thought you had some pretty cool covers there. I like the Beavis and Butthead. I'm having Sochu, by the way, which is Soju or Sochu, whatever you want to call it. It's basically alcohol brewed from vegetables, and it's very, very tasty. They drink this in Japan and Korea. Korea has a more commercialized version. It's a little more synthetic, and it's sweet. I don't recommend you drink that. I mean, it's good, I guess, if you want to just get drunk, but it's not it doesn't taste good. A lot of Koreans would disagree with me, but I'm of the Koreans that really don't like that commercialized soju. I like the naturally brewed stuff. And that's becoming a thing. I think small batch soju is becoming a thing. But in Japan, it's all small batch type, local brewed type. And that's what I'm having. I'm having Japanese soju. Good stuff. Yeah, good stuff. So I'm getting drunk. You can see my maybe I have some Asian flush in me coming out. But I'm having chocolates as well. Because I love chocolate. I'm having nuts and chocolates. I'm just hanging out and talking comics. So first things first. Cole showed off his choices. He had a lot of great comics. But I didn't agree with one of the couple choices, and that was this cover here. He showed off the Scott and Jean wedding issue. And when I got into comics, I started reading X-Men. And, early on, I really didn't like the Scott and Jane dynamic. I really liked the Wolverine coming in there and messing things up. he was obviously attracted to Jane. He liked Jane. He was going after her. She was kind of like, hey, man, I'm with Scott. But she kind of had an attraction to him. And it came out in the movies, which was kind of cool. But I like that dynamic. So I'm gonna one up you with this comic cover, Cole, and go alternate universe. We're gonna go to the age of Apocalypse when Jean and Logan are a thing. They're a couple, and that's a great cover right there. This is an Adam Kubert cover, and Wolverine has lost his hand, so he's just got one claw, but still very menacing looking. And Jean's got short hair. She looks badass there as well. She kind of looks like she kind of looks like Black Widow in a ways. But anyway, that's my first cover. Second couples cover, and there's a debate, if you're ranking Peter Parker's love interests, Gwen or MJ. That's the question, right? And I've always been a Gwen, in the Gwen camp, only because of the way their relationship tragically ended, right? Now, I am happy for. It's not like I hate Mary Jane, but Mary Jane is the person who kind of came in and became the love interest of Parker and helped him overcome all that grief and tragedy. But this is a sort of a blast from the '90s past. When I was collecting, I always liked this cover just because it was like, Peter and Gwen back together again. You're like, whoa! But then you realize it's not really Gwen Stacy. It's a clone. But yeah, we're gonna go with Web of Spider-Man 125, and Steven. I'm not sure of the artist here, but a guy named Steven drew this cover, and not a group. I mean, it's not the best cover, but it's got that big Spidey heart, which is good for Valentine's Day, and it's just a fun cover. So, but anyway, for me, it'll always be Peter and Gwen. I also think the Andrew Garfield Spider-Man is just the best out of the three films, and I hear they're going to do the third movie in that, because Gwen dies. So Gwen dies in the second movie, and I mean it never followed through with a third movie. But if they do a third movie, I'm sure they're going to bring Gwen back as a clone, and then somehow they're going to tie that in with all the modern stuff that's going on. So you'll probably see a Spider Gwen, which would be cool. My next cover is an interesting one, and I think it's hilarious. And there's not a lot of spec on this particular character. Maybe there is. I mean, I've heard some rumblings that she's coming to the next Thor franchise, but whether this character comes and has success or not, the Angela character in real life, the legal battle between Todd McFarlane and Neil Gaiman over the rights of this character make this book significant. So, through all that movie spec garbage, I don't necessarily buy into a lot of that stuff, even though I did get swept up in it for the Book of Boba Fett. I normally don't, like, even with the new trailer and all that, I'm not going to go out and pick up books. That's just not the way I collect. So I'm a little bit, I guess, older school in that regards. You know, I like listening to like Bronze and Modern Gods because they kind of do the nostalgia thing for me, looking back at collecting from 25 years ago, which is pretty much when I was collecting. But yeah, Angela number 2. And so I'm sure there are many of you who didn't have the fortune of reading this comic. And let me just break it down for you. Basically, she's going to kill Spawn. She's a Spawn killer. And Angela's basically an angel who hunts Hellspawn. And she's been doing this for thousands and thousands of years. In fact, in this comic book right here, she kills medieval Spawn. This is the first appearance of medieval Spawn, and that's what you see remnants of. She kills a medieval Spawn. But yeah, she goes after Spawn, and then something, a plot development ensues where she actually needs his help, and he kind of comes to the rescue, and then they kind of develop sort of a I don't want to say relationship, but they develop like they engage with each other basically, and this leads to them getting it on. They sleep together and they do the nasty. So I always found when that was always an interesting thing of this series. I loved it. I think I really the fact that McFarlane and Gaiman were doing a book together. I really wish. Now this wasn't McFarlane Gaiman. This was the Spawn run. This was one issue. I think Angela came back in a later issue, but it didn't get a chance to really evolve Angela and Spawn. And Capullo and Gaiman did it in this miniseries. I don't know, maybe the miniseries didn't garner a lot of interest, but I was definitely like a fan of this series. And I wish I could have seen more. I wish they would have done more with the two characters. But of course, McFarlane was just like trying to introduce a lot of these like characters and storylines, and he was just kind of jumping. It was a true serial in the sense like he was jumping from story to story. There wasn't really a continuous. I mean, there was a thread, but it was like a lot of individual kind of stories and adventures through the Al Simmons character thread. But yeah, I just thought, because of the couples theme, Angela and Spawn were sort of like a non-technical couple there. A one-night stand in hell, basically. What would you call that? A one-night hell stand. And then, okay, so these are my last books, and it's actually a last book, and this was actually a book I just recently picked up. I didn't get a chance to do my haul video yet, but it'll be in that haul video with some other books. But I got this book for $2, and it was a great pickup for $2. But I do want to give some set it up. So in a previous, I think in one of my previous battle videos, and hopefully if you're tuning in right now, watching for the first time, and you kind of like the comics I covered, and you want to see more of that, yeah, please follow my channel. And I'm doing something right now that's really interesting. It's a tournament style where I match up books in my collection, and we just, pit cover to cover and do like a cover battle. And I set it up like a March Madness tournament. So we're coming to the close of the second round. So if you have a chance, go back, watch the videos, vote on which covers you think should move on to the second round. You still have time to do that. And I'm going to tally up all the votes at the end of February and select the winners. And the winners are purely selected on the votes. So if you voted, that counts. And whichever comic cover gets the most votes is the winner. And they'll move on in the bracket style and meet the next its next opponent all in that tournament bracket. But yeah, one of the comics I covered was this cover here by Jim Lee, and this is a great cover. It's one of my favorite. And I mentioned in that previous video that I always saw these two together. I think Superman and Wonder Woman getting together makes more sense than Clark Kent and Lois Lane, even though that's a great couple and romance as well. But in terms of, I know people say Superman is Clark Kent, Clark Kent's is a real identity, and the opposite is true for Bruce Wayne. Batman is Bruce Wayne's true identity. But when you think about, so you can say that up to a certain point. You can say that up to the point where, Clark was growing up, and to the point he realized he had these powers, and he realized his true legacy and heritage when he finds out, I'm Kryptonian and all this. At that point, yeah, he's Clark Kent, and yeah, he has those values that he grew up with. But at that point, he becomes Superman, and Superman is Kal-El, and Kal-El is Kryptonian. And from that point on, you have to look at Superman as just more than Clark Kent, even though that's his name, like his human identity. He, grows up and accepts his legacy or his heritage as a Kryptonian, and so that's something people should realize. And in that moment when he knows, okay, you know what, I'm a god on Earth. I have all this power. I could literally destroy the Earth if I wanted, but instead I choose to protect Earth and its citizens. And in that regard, being in a human relationship doesn't make the most sense. And so I think if you really think about, okay, who's right for Kal-El, I would have to say it would be Diana, and I think Wonder Woman and him make it, and that's a great cover right there. But I'm going to one up this cover. This is a great cover, but again, this is the couples comic challenge, and this is DC Comics Presents number 32, and this is the first kiss between Superman and Wonder Woman in comics. So I didn't even know this comic existed. I had this thinking, maybe this is the first kiss, or when did they first get together? It was kind of like a question mark, but it got resolved just by me digging through long boxes this past weekend. And when I saw this cover, I was like, that's a pretty cool cover. And then I kind of, looked it up as a key. It's not like a real, it's a key, but it's not like a, I don't think it's a key that a lot of people know too much about. But yeah, this is the first time in comics that Superman and Wonder Woman lock lips. And it's a pretty cool cover. This is a Ross Andru cover. And it's a cool, because here you see also Lois Lane and Steve, what's his name? Steve, I forget this name from the Wonder Woman, the Linda Carter television series, but that's the, Major Steve or Admiral Steve or whatever his name was, Captain Steve maybe. But yeah, they're basically going, what's going on, man? They dumped us for each other. And it kind of again, I think the comic book creators back when also realized this made more sense than this pairing. And so yeah, I'm glad. I think but this is the thing. Superman, his love interest is always changing. Wonder Woman is kind of like, I don't need a man, and so I'm fine with that too. They don't necessarily have to be a couple, but I'm just saying if they do become a couple, and some writer or some creative team decides, okay, Superman and Wonder Woman are going to get married, and we're going to do that whole thing, I'd be on board with that. I don't think that's. I mean, there's definitely a history here, and it's something like I said makes sense. It's not like out there in left field. These are two very powerful characters. They're sort of the leaders of their race, and it just makes sense that you'd have two people with that much in common be able to connect, and then they've had a storied history as well. It's like Wonder Woman, Superman in DC continuity is they've been part of that trinity of Justice League characters, and so it's not like they despise each other. They've always had a good collegial relationship, but that it'd be nice to see it taken to the next level. So, okay, so yeah, this was fun. I'm really looking forward to these monthly comic challenges, and so Cole and Bearded, you can expect me to be there every month, putting out a video, and I think it'll be fun to see. I don't have a lot of comics. I just I'm gonna put out a new video soon where I do some data analysis on my collection. So stay tuned for that one. But I believe that my comic count is like 253 comics, which isn't a big collection, and I don't anticipate it's going to get much bigger this year. I'm not really looking to buy a lot of comics, but what's going to be fun is like doing these videos. I'm really looking forward to like getting the theme and running with it, because I think like just doing this was fun. The couples cover was fun, and again, getting this comic for $2. It's a fun comic, and it's kind of like the reason I got it was because I had this comic which I love. The cover is great, and I just thought, man, it'd just be great to like kind of like see the progression from bronze to modern. That the kiss between Wonder Woman and Superman. Okay. Thank you for watching. Please like, subscribe, do whatever you have to do. Follow this channel if you can. We've got some great, again, I mentioned the comic book cover battles. We're coming into March. It's going to be March Madness. We're going to just be putting out a lot of battle videos there. I hope to do some haul videos as well. I don't have a big budget, so I'm not buying a lot of books. I do try to pick up books on the cheap though, so whenever I can do that, I'll share what I pick up. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Later.